So we're looking to solve a question number 18 from the pre-calculus textbook. We're going to solve this for over the domain of negative pi. Oops, get my pen working there. There we go. Over the domain of negative pi is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to pi. So the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of that sine squared x, and we're going to do that because everything else is cos, and so the easiest that getting it all into the same trig function is the best thing to do to start with. So we have 1 minus, and using the Pythagorean identity, we know that sine squared x is equal to 1 minus cos squared x, and then minus 2 cos x. All of that is over cos squared x minus cos x. Oops. I'll just correct that. Sorry about this. Get my pen going again. Cos x minus 2, and all of that's equal to negative 1/3. So we'll simplify on top. 1 minus 1 is 0, and subtract negative cos squared x gives us positive cos squared x minus 2 cos x. All of this is over cos squared x minus cos x minus 2, and again that's equal to negative 1/3. At this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross multiply. What that does is it gets all of those trig ratios out of the denominator, and we should be able to simplify this down into a quadratic. So we have 3 cos squared x minus 6 cos x is equal to negative cos squared x plus cos x plus 2. We'll bring everything over to one side, so I'm going to subtract cos square x from both sides. That leaves me, add cos square x to both sides, so that gives me 4 cos squared x. I'm going to subtract cos x from both sides, so I have negative 7 cos x, and then I subtract 2 from both sides. And we can see that now we have a quadratic equation that we're going to solve. We can do that by factoring, and we're looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 8 and add to negative 7, and so that would be 8 and 1. So we're going to rewrite this as 4 cos squared x minus 8 cos x plus cos x minus 2, and all of that equals 0. And we're going to group these for factoring. We'll factor out 4 cos x, and that leaves us with cos x minus 2. And here the only common factor we have is 1, so we'll factor out 1, and we have cos x minus 2. So we can write this now as our two factors, 4 cos x plus 1 multiplied by cos x minus 2, and all of that equals 0. Oops. Okay. Now we can set each of our factors equal to 0, and we have 4 cos x plus 1 equals 0, and cos x minus 2 equals 0. And what that does is we have here cos x equaling 2, and again this gives us no solution because cos can only equal something smaller than 0. On the other one we have cos x is equal to negative 1/4. This is not something we can pick up over our from our unit circle, so we're going to have to use our calculator to actually solve for x. And remember, we have to look for where cosine is negative. Using the cast rule, we can see that cosine is negative in these two quadrants, quadrant 2 and quadrant 3. And so we'll throw that into our calculator. Cos, do the inverse cos of negative 1/4. And that gives me x equaling 1.8235. And so this degree, or this angle, is in here. And notice that we're going from negative, so negative pi all the way to pi. So we've included this one. Now we need to include this one. And we can write that simply as negative 1.8235. And that gives us our two possible solutions over the particular range, or sorry, domain that we've been given.